For the first time in the history of the Air Force, a general has been convicted of sexual abuse. Major General William Cooley was found guilty of forcibly kissing his sister-in-law in 2018. He now faces up to 7 years in prison and dismissal from the Air Force. ABC News senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez has more on this case. Louis, the military justice system is different than the civilian justice system in many ways. So can you break down this case for us and how it unfolded?
Sure, definitely, Dan. This is a historic case, as you mentioned there in the intro. This is one of the, it's the most historic case in the Air Force's history for generals because it's the first case that has ever proceeded to a court-martial, which is very hard to believe given the Air Force's 7-decade history. Not only was it historic because it went to a court-martial, we also have a conviction in this case. And as you pointed out, the court systems between the military and the civilian sector are very different. And that's why you've had all these controversies over the last years to try to reform the military justice system. The main change from the civilian section is that what you have is that in the military court system, commanders have a say in what cases can proceed to trial. That's the current system, and that is what is going to be changed over the coming years because of action from here at the Pentagon that Congress has approved. But typically, military commanders have had a say in whether a case needs to proceed to a court-martial. They see the investigative evidence. They see the evidence from prosecutors and criminal investigators. Then there is essentially a public case hearing that sounds a lot like what you would have when you have grand juries deciding whether a case needs to proceed to court. And then, once again, you see the commanders involved. So throughout, the command influence is very noticeable, and that's been one of the main reasons why there have been calls for reform, which we will be seeing, and this case being historic because it's such a senior officer in the Air Force ranks.
Louis, this is the first conviction of its kind for the Air Force. So what kind of an impact is it having and could it have going forward?
Well, it could have a significant impact about the changes that are going to take place over the coming year, Diane, because one of the things that we hear about is that victims are always afraid to step forward in sexual assault cases. In fact, the numbers bear out that not only are they hesitant to come forward, but as the numbers increase, it's actually seen as a good thing because that means that more people are comfortable in stepping forward. But when they do so, it also indicates how prevalent this is an issue inside the military. But one of the figures that stands out is when you realize that probably only 4% of cases that end up in the military court justice system that deal with sexual assault are actually resulting in convictions. That is just an extraordinarily low number. It's very difficult to prove in some cases. Evidence can be hard to find. It becomes one of these situations of he said, she said, she said, he said. It's very difficult. So that's one of the reasons why reforms have been undertaken. So the fact that you have a 2-star general in charge of the Air Force's research laboratory who has now been convicted in this case, I think it's going to send a message. But the real message is going to be that when these reforms kick in for real next year, you're going to see that it's no longer just going to be anybody in the lower ranks who is going to face justice. Everybody is truly going to face justice, regardless of your rank.
All right, Louis Martinez. We appreciate it as always, Louis. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.